It's a practice every day. I got to show up every day. Every single day, I got to show up again and again. I got to reset in the morning and remind myself how much I believe in me. I got to reset every morning and remind myself how much I believe in me. Hey, you feel that?
You are now tuned into You Feel That with Bryce the Third.
Yo, and welcome to You Feel That with Bryce the Third, the best podcast there is for high-level entrepreneurs looking to learn how to master their emotions. Here's where we learn to become compassionate, understanding servant leaders one episode at a time. And I am, of course, your host, Bryce the Third, and today it might be a short one. Remember, the big question is this: how do I, as an ambitious entrepreneur, learn to master my emotions in a way that allows me to continuously show up and do the next scary thing that could potentially take my career and life to the next level? And today I want to touch on and talk about what lies beneath everything that we use to improve our lives, everything that we use to improve our circumstances and situations. Like all of the tools, all of the teachings, all of the places that we go, the people that we see, the things that we obtain to make our lives better. What lies underneath it, and what is the commonality between everything that we seek to improve our practice? Whether that be our practice in our entrepreneurship, whether that be our practice in being a better human being, whether that be our practice in fatherhood, that be our practice in interpersonal relationship. What lies beneath being the best version of us that we can possibly be? And it's just one thing. It's really just one thing. This is one thing I have found is a common denominator in everything that we seek to use to make our lives better. What is that one thing, you ask? Belief. It's belief. As simple as that. So today I wanted to talk about belief, like the importance of belief in your life. Like anything and everything we can use to make our lives better, if we don't have the belief that it will work, like it doesn't matter what it is that we use. Like the belief that things work is the underlying commonality between anything working. You can take the most proven method of a system that somebody has designed and tested rigorously with hundreds and hundreds of people. But if you take it and you don't believe it's gonna work, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, because belief is the number one thing that propels us to be able to get the results out of what it is that we seek. Belief is the number one thing that takes us to the results that we desire. Now, when we talking about belief, what kind of questions are you asking yourself? Are you asking yourself empowering questions? Or are you asking yourself, oh, dang, what if it doesn't work? What if it's not gonna go this way? Well, what if this doesn't work out? And are you stressed? I've seen people like plan events, and as they're planning the event, they are just focused on, well, what if this doesn't work? Well, what if this doesn't work? There's a million trillion different things that might not work. There's a million trillion different things that might not work. But guess what? Flip side, there's a million trillion different things that can work. What if it works? What if it works? What if we started asking ourselves more empowering questions that instead of disbelief being baked into it, has belief baked into it? Now there's coaching programs, there's all these accelerators, there's things to help us do whatever it is that we want to do. I mean, even college, and like there's these things that are equipped to transform us into a higher version of ourselves. But no matter what the tool is, it does not matter if we don't have the belief that it is going to work. If I don't believe that this thing is going to propel my life to the next level, it will not. So what can we do? So asking ourselves more empowering questions. What if it works? What if it works? I got this plant. I got a couple of plants. And up until now, plants and I have had this relationship where I get them, I'm excited about them, and then they begin to wilt, and then I begin to get discouraged, and then it becomes a fight to keep them alive, and it is like a saddening thing, because it's like I come in and my plant is dying and it's not looking good, and all this stuff, right? But I just got these two plants, and I noticed so we also have to be very intricate about how we use our energy, right? So, and very intricate about how we pay attention to how some of our energy is on autopilot. So, I was looking at the plant and it's just so beautiful. And I'm looking at it with this energy of, I hope I don't fuck this up. What do I need to do to make sure I don't fuck this up? Like, what happens if it messes up and it gets wilted? What happens if this doesn't go the way that I want it to? And I had to stop myself in my tracks because I'm in a season of my life where I am my own guinea pig. I am doing a lot less coaching and I'm going to coach myself. I'm going to be a guinea pig and you're going to see some of the results of these things that I've been talking about. Now, I've been putting a lot of stuff on the floor for a few years, but now I'm really about to be an exemplification of what it is that I've been putting on the floor. I am flamed up. But so because I'm my own guinea pig, I stopped myself in my tracks. Like, yo, why am I talking? Why am I talking like this isn't gonna work? Like, what happens when this plant blossoms and grows beautifully and becomes a contributing member of my household? And how well will my mental health be when I come home every day and my plant is blossoming and thriving? How well will I feel? How delicious of an experience will it be when my plant is thriving just as I'm thriving and it becomes a reflection of me and the new energy of right now, not the energy of a reflection of yesterday when yesterday or in times past this has been the case. No, what about in this moment? What if it works? What will it be like when it works? And that's another tactic, envisioning, using our vision. So I had a talk with a friend the other day, and she had reminded me of how I used to kind of. So I would daydream. I come from circumstances that aren't the best. I've been in some crazy wild circumstances, and I would daydream in the middle of like good circumstances, like birthday parties and like these get-togethers, that the worst thing would happen. And I would imagine that people would come in and just shoot everybody up, and they'd be dead, and I'd feel as if it was happening. So the things about feelings and emotions is that is the energy of life. Feelings and emotions are the energy of life. So when I was daydreaming that things were the worst that they could possibly be, even though they weren't that, and I'm at this birthday party and nothing's wrong, they it feels as if everything went wrong. And because it feels like that, I can enjoy it. I can enjoy it. And my biology, emotion is biological. So my biology, my body feels as if things are going wrong because of my emotions. So, flip side, what if we can choose the empowering thoughts through empowering conversations and asking ourselves empowering questions in such a way that allows for us to feel the passionate energy in our biology that transforms our experience? What if I asked myself and I envisioned things working out, things going unlike they've ever gone? So I may not have a reference point, but I can almost fake my body into feeling as if, oh, this is gonna work out. And I don't know if you ever heard those studies where they take people and tell them to practice the piano, and then they take another set of people and make them imagine that they're practicing the piano, and then they look at the brain scans, and the people that were imagining that they practiced the piano had the same amount of brain activity in the areas of the brain where it would have been if they were actually physically practicing the piano. Now you're gonna have to cross-reference this study. You can Google it, but it just goes to show that the power of the mind, the power of imagination, the power of visualization is not something to be played with. It's not something to be played with. It's something to take advantage of. When we talk about belief, it's something to take advantage of. If things have been going a certain way for a long time, and you look at circumstances in your life right now as a reflection of what has happened. So we use our previous experience as a mirror for what it is that we view today as being. And then that ends up turning today into yesterday. Well, if you want a life unlike you've ever lived, Look, I know you was vibing and I hate to interrupt your flow. We're going to get right back to the episode in a second. But I interrupt the program for good reasoning. Look, if you are here listening to You Feel That, the absolute best emotional, mental, and spiritual empowerment podcast for creatives and entrepreneurs, chances are you're either being called to build something and are looking for where to start. You've already defined what it is that you're looking to build and are currently fleshing that out. And you're here looking for encouragement, motivation, and more context for yourself and your business to help you to continue to manifest. Or maybe you've been around the block a few times. You've taken something from ideation to creation. And you know in order to stay on top of your game and continue to win, you have to stay sharp. And you're here to make sure that you're perpetually the sharpest tool in the shed. So I got to thinking, what is one common problem that all three of these people share? Number one, knowing who we are. We don't know who we are. Even when you achieve something, even when you accomplish something, it can be hard to figure out who we are because once we accomplish something, things change. Life continuously changes. And in those changes, we continuously change. We cannot stay the same or else we become obsolete. And look, I could just hear your ears perking up. You may not know who you are right now in this season of your life. And number two, where we're going. Whether this is your first time setting out on your entrepreneurial adventure or you're a veteran who spent the block a few times, the destination always changes because when we get there, there's somewhere else to go. And then when we get there, there's somewhere else to go. So a process that allows for us to have a finger on the pulse of our internal compass, regardless of what the external circumstances are, is invaluable to our process of building anything great. All right, I hear your ears perking up again. You don't have a process. So look, you don't know who you are and you don't have no process. What if I told you I wrote a manual to help you discover these things within yourself? I hear those ears perking up again. The Handbook, a pocket guide for creating your desired reality and being a good human while you're at it, is available for purchase right now. Within this book, we dig into and develop a foundation within ourselves of perception, gratitude, understanding, completion, all of the timeless principles that will help you to discover your path for the first time or for the 12th time. This book will help you find yourself or remember who you are, as well as get clear on the pathway towards what it is you're looking to create. If this sounds like something you could benefit from, you need to go ahead and grab your copy. Head on over to brycethe3rd.com/the handbook. The link is conveniently located in the podcast description below wherever you're looking at or listening to this podcast. You can even go on Amazon and search on Amazon The Handbook by Bryce the Third and grab your copy. When I first got started on my entrepreneurial journey, I wish I had a handbook to help me discover who it is that I am and where it is that I'm going. And now you got one. Grab your copy of the handbook today and unlock the key to your clarity in business and in life. All right, back to the show. What if you jumped ahead and like, oh, I want that type of life. So can I imagine in my body, in my thoughts, in my emotion, how that would feel by doing things like asking myself more empowering questions, visualizing what I want it to be like versus what it has been like, and getting into the feeling of that. And can I really truly believe that these things will work? And then can I take action in that energy? And then can I take action in that energy? Can I move forward with the energy of what if this works in my action, embedded and baked into the action that I take? Now you gotta think. So some people may say that this is woo-woo, but we don't do woo-woo here. We do physical action. What success is, what has taken place in the physical plane, what difference has happened in the physical plane, what has moved in the physical plane. We talking about action here. We not woo-woo, just wish and just believe. No, this is like we putting one foot in front of the other. But underneath the one foot in front of the other is the belief that where it is that I'm going is going to align with where it is that I want to go. Talking about alignment. What are your intentions? What are your intentions? What are your goals? So this is a big thing for me. And I'm teaching, like, you got to know that I'm teaching what I'm teaching as I'm learning it. And when I say learn, I don't mean like I'm in these books. I mean like I am, like I've spent a lot of time in teachings. But right now I am in life. I am in life. I am fighting for my dreams. I am actively putting my action towards what it is that I want to manifest. And I'm using everything that I'm learning in such a way that propels me to make these things happen. And underneath everything is belief. Because I can take all this information in from all of these different places. But if I don't believe that it's going to work, it's not going to work. And see, what a lot of us will do, you know, we'll look for how we're uniquely, we tend to be terminally unique. Like we'll go in somebody's teaching. We'll get excited at first. We'll get motivated. Motivated is all steam. We'll get motivated. And then after the fact, maybe we'll even buy something. We'll buy somebody's program. We'll buy a book or something like that because we got motivated because it was exciting. And then we get the book and we get the program and it's like, oh, it's actually work. Like I actually got to implement these principles. I actually got to implement this system. oh man, this don't work for people like me because I'm just not, I don't know. I mean, he's so excited about it. I don't know if I'm that excited about it. Like we start to make up excuses for why it won't work for us. We'll grab those. Yeah, you know what? This is exactly why it's not gonna work for me. This is not this. It's just not for me. I thought it was. I was excited about it, but it's just not gonna work for me. What if instead of looking for excuses as to why it won't work for us, we look for reasons as to why it will. We look for examples as to why it will. And trust me, I used to be just like you. If you coming from this, I used to be just. Come on now. Like I come from poverty. I come from I'm in recovery from substance abuse and alcoholism. Like I come from all these things where it's like I'm not even supposed to be here and blah 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 blah. Like the story I would tell. Like so then I would be introduced to something that is $1 million mindset, $1 billion mindset, put me in a position to affect people and change lives and really have an impact. And I'd be like, nah, people from where I'm from don't do that. People die from where I'm from. People don't make it past 18 from where I'm from. These are all statistics, and this is all true from where I came from because I experienced all of this. But that was then. That's not going on right now. And right now, I want these things. Right now, I want to have this impact. Right now, I want to impact the city of Detroit with wellness. I want to empower people to be able to see who they truly are, as powerful as they truly are. That's what I want. So I'm going to keep holding on to where it is that I came from and use that as the reason as to why it's not going to work. Or I'm going to quantum leap. I'm going to jump in front of my excuses. And I'm going to tap into belief. And here's the thing about belief, because a lot of times we look at belief like, oh, it's inaccessible to me. I can't hold on to belief that long. It's a practice. It's a practice every day. I got to show up every day. Every single day, I got to show up again and again. I got to reset in the morning and remind myself how much I believe in me. I got to reset every morning and remind myself how much I believe in me. Life is here to serve us. We are not servants of life. Life is a servant of us. We are in this vehicle and it's up to us to do maintenance on it continuously. Because what happens with a vehicle when you don't change the oil? What happens with a vehicle when the engine blows? I've had tons of times in my life where my engine blew. I could have left the car on the side of the road, or I could have did what I did do, which is put a new engine in it. My overall belief system had to change. I had to lift out the engine and put a new engine in the car because the belief system, the engine, was no longer sufficient for where it was I was trying to go. And I am so willing to change the engine as many times as I need to. If the engine blow, we gonna change it. Because I'm going near. That's where I'm going. Belief. Belief. And a big thing about belief is intention. If we don't have intention, if we don't have anywhere that we are trying to go, like if we don't sit down with ourselves and ask ourselves, what do we want? And give ourselves compassion and understanding for our process that allows for that unfolding of that answer. Because this is the thing, we be like, man, I don't know what I want because we expect it all to come at once. Like everybody looks like they got it all figured out. Newsflash, nobody knows the fuck they doing. And those who know what they're doing, so sure that they know what they're doing, I can guarantee you there was so much time that they didn't. It was a lot of time they had no clue. There was a lot of times where they thought they had a clue, and then they still didn't have no clue. Because they took some action and then it was flabbergasted from the feedback that had came. But they used that feedback in order to get closer to what it is that they want. So ask yourself, like, what do you want? And don't beat yourself up when the answers that come back aren't immediately, hi, this is exactly what I want. And I know exactly what I want. And I have direction. And I'm ready to go. And I'm motivated for life. Don't be mad when that don't happen, because it's not going to happen like that. And don't let me say it's not. Nothing is impossible. But also give yourself understanding and compassion and remind yourself it's a process. It's a process. It's an unfolding. Guarantee you, anything that you do, if you continue to grow, you're going to look back at it like, I could have did that better. So let go of that perfection thing, because perfection don't exist. Perfection is procrastination and drag. Man, I didn't know I was going to come to preach to y'all today. I didn't know I was going to snap on y'all today, but this is really underneath everything. I got a coaching program. We could one-on-one. I got a manifestation course. I got a book. I got events for you to come to. I don't want you to think that any of these things are going to solve your problem if you don't have the belief that it will. If you don't believe that I can guide you from point A to point B, if you don't believe that you can be guided because you're terminally unique, there's no point in even coming to the event. There's no point in even picking up the book because there's nothing I'm going to be able to say to you to make you believe in yourself. And once again, belief, please, baby, take it easy on yourself. Have compassion. It's a practice. Belief starts with the willingness. Are you willing to be willing? Are you willing to be willing to believe in yourself? That's all that it takes. They say a mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed. All you got to do is crack the door open. You work with me, all you got to do is crack the door open. I'm going to kick it in. Because I see you for who you are. I see you for who you are. Because you are a reflection of me. We're reflections of each other. We have the same capability. The sky is the limit. Not even the sky. Why? Because I believe it to be so. And you could believe it to be so as well. But it's your choice. It's your choice. So I'm here. I'm here. I got You Feel That, the podcast. I got the Handbook by Bryce III. I got events coming up in the city of Detroit. I got a free one coming up on May 28th. I do gratitude challenges every now and then. I got a course that I'm about to roll out that's going to help you manifest anything that you desire. You just using gratitude, the most freest thing in the world that you can tap into. But all the shit in the world that I can create and all of the tools that I can put on the floor will not help you if you don't believe in yourself. So look, this is what I'm going to do. Before we get out of here, I need you to say it out loud. I will be willing to believe. 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 I get to talking to people and the first thing out their mouths be excuses. Well, this is why it's not, that's kind of big. You got to know that is inside of you. You got to know that that's inside of you. All the obstacles, but Bryce, you got to understand, you got to know that that's inside of you. Is it okay with you if life got easier? What if it works? As always, leave a rating and review on the podcast app. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave me one of those, little paragraphs on there for how this episode changed your life. No, I'm playing, but when you leave that paragraph down there, people go to the podcast, and people who have never heard the podcast before will read that and be like, "Oh, there's raving reviews here." So I'm gonna listen to this podcast and be honest. Like if what I'm saying you don't rock with it, like go on there and leave a review for that too. I welcome honesty. I welcome transparency. I welcome openness. I'm always looking to grow and develop and make a better show and be able to serve you all, because that's what's important to me. And as always, be intentional, love on each other, and have compassion for your process. I'll catch you next time on You Feel That? With Bryce III.